the majority of all support cases we receive are caused by missing server requirements. People often skip the server requirements page in the installer, probably because they don't understand what it means. My name is Jesper, and I am the founder and lead developer of FusionCMS, and today I am going to show you how to properly install our CMS on your self-hosted web server. I am using a Mac, but the procedure is more or less the same for Windows as well. I will be using a web server stack called MAMP, which provides MySQL, Apache, and PHP. The first thing you need to do is to extract the zip file that contains the FusionCMS files. We will do that by double-clicking the zip file. It can vary a bit depending on which operating system and zip software you use, but I don't think you will have any problems with that. Here are all the FusionCMS files, and what we want to do now is to move them into our web folder. I will open a new window and navigate to my web folder, in this case called htdocs, which is located in my MAMP directory. If you wish to host FusionCMS alone on your web server, you can just move all those files right into here. But in this case, I want it in a subfolder called FusionCMS. I will move the files into the folder, and now we are going to visit the web folder at localhost/FusionCMS. We will start installer and enter our license key, which can be found on the Fusion Hub at fusion.reaccessdev.com, and if you haven't created a license key yet, you can just enter whichever IP or domain you wish to use it at, and it will generate one for you. This is a very important step. If you do not follow it correctly, it will very likely break in the end. As I said, we receive lots of support cases related to people not following this guide. As it says, we are going to go into our Apache folder and find the Apache config called httpd.conf. And here is a little Windows guide. Mine was located in WAMP, bin Apache version number conf. But it can vary a bit, but it's definitely somewhere in the web folder. So go ahead and search. And once you got it open, press CMD F on Mac or Control F in a text editor like Notepad and search for one of these and do exactly what it says. In this case, you are going to remove the hashtag symbol in front of the line. As you can see on the screenshot, there are hashtag symbols here, here and here, right in front of the module name. And to enable it, you simply remove the hashtag. There is the same for PHP, but in this case it is a semicolon, and you do the exact same thing. Make sure to do it for all these modules individually and all these PHP extensions. On certain hosts, especially Linux and Mac hosts, you will need to make sure those folders are writable, and to do so on Linux and Mac, you open up the terminal and you change to your web folder and to the FusionCMS folder, not that one, FusionCMS, like that. And what you need to do now is to navigate to our frequently asked questions page, and it will tell you exactly what to do. There is a link to our FAQ in the FusionCMS FAQ text file directly in your FusionCMS folder here, I think. Yeah, here. It will provide a link to this website. And And if we are having file permission folder problems, this is the article we need to look into. In this case, we host it on our own server, and we need to write all those comments to make sure the file, the script, has permission to write to that folder. chmod R stands for recursively, which makes it apply the rules, the writing permission to all subfolders and subfiles, which is necessary for everything to work. We will do like that, and then we will press arrow up and do it again for cache, and once again for modules. And that's it. Now we can proceed. Here are some general settings for your website. I don't think you need much explanation about this, it's pretty obvious. The admin panel extra security password is also referred to as the security key, which is simply an extra password that you need to enter to access the admin panel. I will fill out those fields quickly. And max expansion, simply choose which expansion that you support as the maximum. Search engine keywords, simply type some keywords for your server and some description about your server as well. If you use Google Analytics, you can provide an website ID right here, which can be used to track visitors and get some statistics and analytics. We will proceed and fill out website database host, which is localhost, and my username is root, and my password is also root. Now you need to make sure that you have an empty database for your FusionCMS installation. We will go into Navicat, which is the MySQL client I use. I will right click on the connection and choose new database. We will write FusionCMS. You can use whatever you want as name, just make sure to remember it so you can type it in here. FusionCMS and realmd/logon database host. That is also called your authentication database. Auth. Like that. I host it on the same MySQL host, like that, and auth, and press next. We support quite a few emulators, so make sure to find yours in the list and enter some details about your realm. Test realm, host name is localhost again, and it is hosted on the same database, and I will enter my database preferences here. Max allowed players online. That one is not it doesn't affect your in-game behavior, not your realm behavior, but it affects the status bar in the side box of the website. Like if you have 10 players online and you put a cap of 100, it will show us 10% of the bar. Realm port is 8085 for most emulators except of ArchEmu, which uses 8129. Also, if you have changed this port, or if you host multiple realms on the same server, you may use different ports, such as 8086 and so on. Make sure that it's correct, otherwise your realm will be shown as offline. The console port, which is used for RA and SOAP, and RA and SOAP are used to communicate with your game client, with your server I mean, and if you don't enter this correctly on the emulators that require it, you won't be able to send items in game from the shop. So make sure you got it all correct. In this case I'm using RA, and the default port for RA is 3446. Console username is also very necessary, otherwise it won't work with sending items in game stuff. It is meant to be an in-game account, yes, a normal account that has GM level 3 or 4 or something. It's specified in your world or realm config of your emulator. I will put my account here and it should work just fine. Next you just press add realm and you will see it up here in the list. We will then press next step and it will import our database, and it should take a few seconds, or if you're on a slow host it may take a minute, I don't know. Next up we need to go into our web folder again and rename or remove the installed directory. We will simply remove it here, move it to the trash, and then we can go back to our website. I do not have any realm running right now, so it obviously shows this offline, and hopefully the rest of the website will work just fine from now on. You can click on things, and if you sign in with an admin account with GM level 4 on most emulators or AZ on ArcEmu, you can access the admin panel. As you can see, it says account rank owner, and then you can press admin panel here and enter our security code, which I entered as test, and boom, you're in. This is the FusionCMS admin panel. Next up, you may want to configure some things, and make sure to check out the modules here, the module section. There are some more necessary things like donation panel, edit configs, and here you enter like your PayPal email and PayGoal service ID and stuff like that. You will probably want to look around the admin panel. There are some things that can be nice to have, like side boxes with different modules and things, and if you run into problems you can disable your website and show a temporary message that is displayed all across the system. If you use custom GM levels, you can specify them here. Make sure to enter one rank for each GM level. We do not support any minimum GM level. It is strict, it's specified for one GM level. You can also see who is browsing your site right now and their IP address. In this case it's the IP version 6 localhost address for me. And if you need any help, just make a ticket on our support site or contact us on Twitter, and we will be right with you. Thank you.